I was listening to music while getting ready to cook dinner and decided to use the frying pan as a mic. Did one of those look away from the mic to take a breath moments only to turn back dramatically at a powerful lyric and hit myself in the face with the pan.
I can envision it, and am impressed. Thank you for the visual.
I'm imagining the sound this made and I can't stop laughing.
I tried to throw a dart into the bullseye on a dartboard that was on the floor, but threw the dart right into my left foot instead.
A bar where I used to live placed dartboards about a foot away from the women's bathroom door. Dartboards that took regular, metal-tipped darts instead of the plastic-tipped ones. Imagine a bunch of drunk people throwing darts while women are trying to walk into the bathroom.
As a kid, I saw a rabbit on the other side of a fence, so I tried to climb over. Knowing full well it was hot wire. Naturally, I fell off the wood between the wires and damned near electrocuted myself when I fell onto the wire. Never did get a hold of that stupid rabbit. That pesky wabbit.
I was 8 years old and running home on my lunch break so that I could watch Inspector Gadget, which came on at noon. I decided it would be neat to look down at my feet while I ran, and next thing I know I've run full speed into a parked car. I think I laid like a dead body on the road for a good 5 to 10 minutes. It hurt so badly. I was late for my Inspector Gadget episode and never told anyone what happened.
I thought I had nothing to add, but your stupid self-injury reminded me of mine. I was about 13, riding my bike home full speed after buying the newest release of Teen Beat, Teen Girl Heartthrob magazine. I was riding through a plaza, not in the parking lot but in the walkway. A woman opened the door to the Family Dollar, right in the collarbone. Thrown off my bike and had to go to the ER via ambulance. My boy band pics had to wait.
I gave myself a black eye in my sleep. Rolled into the corner of the nightstand.
I had a dream one night where the very end of it had me jump off a cliff. Cue a Wile E. Coyote second of time dilation where I realized I was now off the side of my bed, about to start heading down. I hit the floor to find us wrapped my neck in the tubing for my CPAP. Almost hanged myself.
Hit myself in the hand with a hatchet. It was so cold I didn't notice until I looked down and saw the blood.
When I as a kid I was chopping wood, missed the log and went straight into my rain boot.
I was finishing up this intense jigsaw puzzle, which was on a low table, so I spent the entire night crouching on the balls of my feet. The next morning, my right foot turned purple and swelled up to the size of a large orange. I was on crutches for a couple of weeks.
Wow! Never thought of puzzling as an extreme sport before. I should warn my retirement-aged mother.
When I was about 16, I was telling some story to my sister's boyfriend. I was rather animated about it and began to flail my arms about, until I hit the glass fixtures of our ceiling fan and showered glass upon myself. Part of the glass cut around my nose and I began to rain blood. Was left with a nice scar and a decent story about situational awareness while speaking.
Another ceiling fan mishap. I was standing on a chair trying to brush down cobwebs with a broom. As I went to get down, broom vertical in one hand, handle pointing up, I raised the broom a bit for balance and it caught the fan, sending the handle on a rapid 360 degrees around the fan and into the side of my head.
Jumped from the roof of our house when I was 10, to see if it hurts or I'll survive. When I landed it was like an electric shock on my feet. I survived, and yes, it was stupid, but when you are a child you tend to brag anything to your friends, so yeah. Did hurt like hell though.
I did the same thing except I used an umbrella instead of parachute, and when my friend asked does it hurt I said no so that he does the same.
When I was 13 I was walking down my street and there was a bee that landed on me right under my eye. In a brilliant move I brain farted and punched myself in the face trying to swat it away.
My sister did a version of this. She swung a loaded shopping bag at a wasp which was flying between her and my mother. Missed the wasp but not my mother, who had no idea what was going on, and just thought my sister had lost her shit and whacked her with a heavy shopping bag out of pure spite. So my mum rolled up her sleeves and set about my sister whilst I walked on as though I had never seen either of them in my life before.
I've sneezed and had a sharp neck pain for a week after. This has happened more than once.
I threw my back out sneezing once. That was not fun.
When I was 5, I was rushed to the ER twice in the same week. First I slid down the banister as the door below swung open and I crashed head first into the corner of the door, then 3 days later I was playing on the radiator, slipped off, and smashed my head again. Doctors thought my parents were abusive and there was an investigation over it, apparently.
My brother was so accident-prone as a child, still is, actually. It started with stupid stuff as a baby, ate a bulb from a poisonous plant while in his walker, fell off the deck at the babysitter's house, young cousin was bouncing him on her knee and he tipped forward and hit the coffee table, and just progressed from there. Lots of stitches, a couple of broken bones. A concussion. There was definitely one doctor's visit where he was separated from my parents, who were also separated from each other, and all were questioned. He is really, just that clumsy unlucky. My husband has decided, in hindsight, that it is because his feet are easily a size 13 and he is less than 6 feet tall. He practically has skis for feet.
I once went on my balcony to smoke a cigarette, only I forgot there was no balcony anymore because it was getting fixed. So I broke my leg falling 1 story down. Now the real irony was, my mother wanted to fix the balcony because it was old and she was afraid it might break off and I might hurt myself.
I hope someone watched you just walk out of a door into thin air a story up. Shit, I wish I watched you do it. In, like, a nice way.
I went to take a plate of Totino's pizza rolls out of the microwave. The plate was so fucking hot that I dropped it. Molten cheese bounced up and was burning through my ankle. I went to stick my foot in the sink to run it under cold water as if I am flexible enough to stand on one foot and get my leg up that high. I fell backwards and cracked my head like an egg. I had a 3rd-degree burn on my ankle, 2nd-degree burn on my fingers and 6 staples to the dome. For fucking pizza rolls at age 30.
High risk, high reward. You'll get your pizza rolls next time, I believe in you.
At age 30. That one sentence made this all the better.
The house was quiet and everyone was falling asleep until I just snorted laughing at this.
I was leaning over a fence post trying to bend straight a nail I just mishit and bent. Only rather than use the claw of the hammer, I used the face of the head of the hammer, slipped off and smashed myself in the forehead. A good 15 years later and I still have a scar on my forehead like a shit Harry Potter.
You a whiz-tard.
Buried at the bottom so I am safe. I was at work in a high-stress office complex in Virginia. The work made you eat quickly and often at your desk. I was eating a baby carrot and tortilla chips, when all of a sudden I get stabbed with the edge of a chip midway chewing a carrot. Blood all down my throat, the chip was sharp and I turned blue choking on baby carrots. Good times nearly getting killed by a chip and a carrot. Learn to slow down when eating.
I was being attacked by aliens in a dream. When they backed me into a corner I kicked one hard in the head. I woke up immediately in pain. I had just kicked my wall in real life. Badly sprained my ankle, couldn't walk properly for a week. The alien was probably so embarrassed that you owned him, so he implanted that memory of you kicking the wall instead of his big dumb alien brain.
Anybody who has TMJ knows you can aggravate it in the stupidest ways. When I was in high school I was eating an apple and my jaw completely froze as I was taking a bite. The apple was just hanging from my mouth suspended by my teeth. I looked like a horse with brain damage. I had to get my dad to extract the apple from my mouth. It hurt like a bitch for a long time. I couldn't chew or talk properly for months and my entire face was crooked because my jaw was stuck off to one side. It healed eventually, but later I set it off again by eating a cookie. I once set it off by yawning too wide. It sometimes goes off on its own for no reason. I wish I knew what it was like to have a working jaw.
I locked mine on our honeymoon, and we were staying with my new in-laws. I was mortified when his dad laughed and called it honeymoonitis.
In high school I was showing off with a staple gun and accidentally stapled myself in the chest. Then, when telling the story later, picked up a staple gun to demonstrate and accidentally did it again. I am not a clever person.
At least you were consistent with your storytelling.
I thought it was a great idea clean a galette with my fingers.
I can't describe the level of cringe I just felt in my whole body.